Here's a quick demonstration of a cross-site scripting attack, and I've prepared a website at glassgirder.com graphtv unsafelogin.php, which has some web vulnerabilities. And I'm going to go ahead and make a new account, so let's just create a new account, say test me 55, and password is test me and test me. And so I've registered a new account and I'm going to log into it. I think I might have just misspelled the username. Nope. Okay, so I'm in. It's greeting me, and there are a couple of links. I can log out. I can visit the message board. There's also search functionality that's vulnerable to SQL injection attack, but I'm not going to demonstrate that in this video. So let's click on the link to visit the message board, and this is simple functionality as well. You can go ahead and post a message, hit the post button, message appears in the pane below. Anybody else who visits this page is going to see the message that was posted. Now, I've provided a clear messages button, which typically wouldn't be on a page like this, because if you make a mistake in the scripting attack, then you're going to get JavaScript errors instead of the functionality you desire. And so as a way of resetting the world if you screw up, this is pretty handy. Or if you just want to try this out yourselves, and somebody's already left JavaScript on the page, go ahead and hit clear messages to clear it out. Okay, so the way this attack works is if I go ahead and put some HTML tags in this message, like this is italic and this is bold, and then post, you see that those tags are actually used to format the text as it appears below here. If you see something like this on a website, then it makes you wonder, well, are they doing anything special for script tags? And if the answer is no, then you can do something like this. And then when I post the message, you'll notice that the script gets run when I load the page, and that I have to click off on the alert box. And anybody else who visits the page going to get the same thing. So this is a fairly innocuous thing to do with the script. It's kind of a pain in the ass because you have to close the dialog each time, but it's not doing anything particularly harmful. But one thing that you can do that's harmful is as follows. So what I want to do is anybody who visits this page, they're going to be logged into a PHP session, and I want to hijack that session. And specifically, I want to hope that at some point in the future, a root user logs into the account and visits this page. And then while they're logged in, I can hijack their session and have root access. So I basically masquerade as them. So let's see how that would work. In order to make this work, what I want to do is I want to grab their login credentials, including, well, actually all I really need is the PHP session ID. And I want to get that sent to some external site that I control. So this is why it's called a cross-site scripting attack, because the code that's getting run on a page on this site, I need to get a cookie from that page sent to some cross external site that I control. And I prepared a page to receive that information. So here's what that looks like. It doesn't have any kind of interface, so it's not very interesting to look at, but we can look at what the code is. Very simple code. So basically, I have to include this access control allow origin and access. Actually, I probably don't need the credentials, but I do need the origin. And this tells the browser that it's okay to cross-site fetch the content from my target page. And then all I'm doing is I'm opening a log file for append. I'm appending some parameters that I'm going to be getting in the URL, a name parameter and a cookies parameter, and then I'm closing the file. So it's just going to dump it on a local file called bogus.log, and then I can access bogus.log on the internet. like so. So this is ideally not a site that I'm directly identified with, but maybe a site that I've hacked into before that can't be traced back to me, and there's a public way of accessing these credentials. So I can go https:// www.cis233w.xyz bogus.log. And there's nothing in there right now because I haven't launched my attack. So let's go ahead and try to trick this page to send a request to this server. And the way you do that is basically you make an XML HTTP request object, and that's the same way that you use asynchronous JavaScript to fetch content on a web page. If you take CIS 133W, CIS 233W, you learn more about legitimate uses for that. For now, I'm just going to go XHR is new XML HTTP request. And then we're going to do xhr.open. We're going to use get, which means we're going to pass some parameters on the URL. And then the URL we want to access is the bogus.php page. cis233w.xyz / bogus.php page. So that's the page I've prepared at the other site. And then I want to add some parameters. So there's going to be a name parameter, which is going to be user, and I'll take a look at that in a second. And then I want to also add a cookies parameter, which is document.cookie. And then finally I want to do xhr.send to actually initiate the asynchronous JavaScript request. And finally I'm going to close off my script. And then I want to put a dummy message in here just so that it just doesn't look weird. So I don't want to draw attention to this because it's my hack. Okay, now I have to do one other thing. This particular page, when you post multi-line messages to it, it inserts a break tag between each line to keep the formatting. And I don't want that because I don't want to have break tags in the middle of my JavaScript code. So what I'm going to do is get rid of all the line breaks. So that it's all on one line. And then I'm going to post it. So there's this user thing I have to explain. So I'll go ahead and post the message. It appears it looks perfectly valid. If I reload, yeah, it doesn't look strange at all. But if I go to my bogus log and hit reload now, I see that my username colon and then the cookie session ID has been sent to the page that I control. So one thing I wanted to show you was view page source. In this particular page, at the very top of the script block, there's a variable called user, which is set to the username, and that's used to tag the message that gets posted when you post a new message. So I've just taken advantage of that fact to include it into my log. Okay, so now sometime later I wait and hopefully at some point, let's see if I have a Firefox here. And I'll just do it using an incognito window. So now I'm hoping that at some point later in the future, let's go to www.glassgirder.com, GraphTV, unsafe login.php. I'm hoping root shows up and logs in. And then visits the message board. That's all that has to happen. Now, if I go back to the other session and hit reload on the log, I see that root visited with a different session ID. And I'm still logged in under my account, so I still get the same content. So that's still me. But what I want to do is I want to change my session ID to be the session ID that root is currently using in order to hijack the session. So there are lots of extensions that you can use to do that. I'm using something called the Awesome Cookie Manager for this demonstration. So I pull up Awesome Cookie Manager. I enter the domain for the site that I'm visiting, GraphTV, and there's one cookie here, PHP session ID. I can look at the values. This is the value that I'm currently set to. I want to edit it, and I want to paste in this cookie. I have to do that again. Edit it. Paste in this cookie value. And I also want to make sure that the expiration date is sometime in the future. So I'll go ahead and select the 31st and hit save. So now my cookie is root's cookie. And if I go ahead and go back to here, and actually let me go to welcome.php now. Actually, I'm just going to go, I'll go ahead and just reload here. Yeah, so it says, hello root, welcome to GraphTV message board. And if I go back to welcome.php, see, I'm still logged in as root, and I get these administrative functions that I didn't get before with my test user. So that's really all you need to do for a cross-site scripting attack. If the author hasn't done anything to block script tags inside of this HTML.